Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wigwam Gaming. As you may be able to tell from my sun-deprived skin and my general lack of muscle tone, I'm not much of a sports guy.
No, Georgia!
Wait, why are you white?
I've been guilty of making unfunny jokes with the word sports ball in them. So what better person to do an unbiased review of not one but two sports games than me? Probably lots of other people, but they weren't interested, so go Team Wigwam. Today we're going to be doing another versus review, pitting the satirical Behold the Kickmen up against the super violence of Super Blood Hockey. Let's meet the two contenders, shall we? First up, Behold the Kickmen, a game by Dan Marshall of Size 5 Games, creator of games like The Swindle. This game was designed to poke fun at a sport that Dan both doesn't understand and doesn't like. His words, not mine. But also my opinion as well. Since Dan is some sort of European and I am some sort of American, we're gonna go by the term football for this soccer game, just to make things less confusing. So, Behold the Kickmen was released onto Steam July 20th for $3.99. The game started off mostly as a joke that was meant to be finished in a month, but when people started to get excited for the game, Dan decided to keep reworking the game into something more. And something more it became, featuring team-building RPG elements, a full-fledged story, campaign mode, free play mode, and many twists on the usually lackluster football gameplay. Behold the Kickmen is quite the package for a $4 price tag. On the opposing side is Lauren Lemke's Super Blood Hockey, a self-professed violent homage to classic 8-bit and 16-bit ice hockey games. This game is a love letter to the many retro classic hockey games like Blades of Steel or the NES Ice Hockey. Lauren Lemke is a Finnish game maker who also made over 9,000 zombies. He made a game called Over 9,000 Zombies. As far as I know, he's made 0 actual zombies. With help from Sean Daly on the driving and action-paced music, Lauren has created a fast-paced, up to 4-player cooperative, bloody-as-hell hockey game featuring all of your favorite hockey countries like Canada, USA, Russia, and some other ones are also there, I guess. First round, visuals. Behold the Kickmen features what I will break down into two distinct different categories of visuals. First is the cutscene artwork. There's not truly animated cutscenes in Behold the Kickmen, but more a series of still images with changing text. Dan Marshall has a great visual style in all of his games, this very sketched-on, mismatched polygon style that really sets his games apart. This part of the game is great. During gameplay though, the Kickmen are not quite as special. In the actual matches, you can see the Kickmen are basically just little circle bodies with little circle heads and stubby arms that are just different palette swaps for different characters. Also, their eyes kind of bug out of the side of their faces, which is just a bit unsettling. It's not bad, but it's very simple. The same with the crowds and backgrounds, which quickly fade to black and have no distinguishing details. I have seen other of Size 5's games, so it's hard not to compare them at least a little bit. Relative to the entire body of work from this developer, this one certainly doesn't have the same level of visual polish and unique style. But hey, maybe that's part of the joke, that all football fields, players, and fans look the same. The gameplay animations, on the other hand, add a lot to the action. Passing lines are clearly drawn out to you, making it easy to follow what's going on. Transitions between goals and halftimes are slick and don't break up the pace of the game. And of course, scoring a goal is just satisfying as hell. Super Blood Hockey chooses to go with a pixel art style for its game. There are 3 types of playable characters who all feature their own character sprites. The ice rinks, or hockey arenas, or whatever they may be called, are all the same. The characters are only swapped out with different palettes depending on what country you choose. It's unambitious, but done well. It's proficient pixel art, and it's true to its inspiration of old-school hockey games. It is visually very closely inspired by NES Ice Hockey, and it is a definite improvement upon it. The animations in this game are the same, simple, but a solid improvement on what's come before. And of course we can't talk about the visuals in Super Blood Hockey without mentioning the Super Blood. This game has an adjustable blood setting that lets you control how much blood you see at any given time. It's a hilarious setting to have in a hockey game, but the novelty of it wears off quickly. Overall, I have to give round 1 to Behold the Kickmen. I would give it the edge for pure ambition alone, as there is just so much more to the visuals in this game than there are in Super Blood Hockey. And while Super Blood Hockey does a great job improving upon and staying true to its inspiration, Behold the Kickmen tried to create something a bit more unique. What would any sports game be without the heart-pounding, suspense-building, adrenaline-stirring, action-packed sound design? Boring. They would be pretty boring. Super Blood Hockey has a blasting chiptune soundtrack that makes every match feel like you're living out the final scenes of Miracle on Ice. The various losing and winning tracks that are played are all fast-paced, driven chiptune music that sounds like a love letter to the classic NES days. There's not a huge variety in tracks, but all the ones you're going to come across are great. Additionally, all of the classic 16-bit sound effects are a pleasure to listen to. Passing, shooting, or charging up your shot, it all sounds good in this game. I'm a sucker for that old school sound. Behold the Kickmen, however, decided to go with a dubstep soundtrack straight out of 2011. This is where I remind you that this is my review channel with my opinions that I am freely to express on this channel. And I will tell you that I hate dubstep. Couple together the dubstep during matches with the crowd noises and sometimes even weather effects like rain, and the whole thing sounds like a big jumbled mess of noise. This is pretty true to the chaos and noise that you might find at a real-life football game, but not overall something that I would find particularly pleasing to the ears. Apart from the music though, Behold the Kickmen features a fully voice-acted crowd that shouts all sorts of stereotypical football fan mantras at you throughout matches. Size 5 Games got fans to record themselves shouting into the mic for this and then use those clips in the game. A pretty cool idea for sure, but it's not quite enough to make up for how much I hate the never-ending dubstep throughout the game. The second round goes to Super Blood Hockey. Final round, gameplay. I always stand by that no matter how much a game may fail or succeed in other categories, what really makes or break it is the gameplay. Is it fun to play? Does it leave an impact on you? Does it make you want to come back for more? For Behold the Kickmen, the answer is yes. For Super Blood Hockey, the answer is also yes. Both of these are good games, but which one is better? Well, in Super Blood Hockey, we have an amazingly solid and challenging hockey game. You can customize your team of 4 or 8 characters with various different types of players with different stats. During matches, you switch between these characters to try and steal the puck by blocking shots or just straight punching people in the face. Once you have possession, you skate, pass, and shoot to try and score. Scoring is hard as hell in this game, and it's gonna take some practice before you're nailing shots like Gretzky, or some other famous hockey guy who made a lot of shots. Super Blood Hockey aims to fine-tune the classic mechanics, and it succeeds. Switching between your characters is fluid and easy, at least on a 4-man team it was, which makes scoring goals feel immensely satisfying. On top of just generally solid game mechanics, you have your choice of playing tournament mode, quick play, multiplayer with up to 3 other friends, or challenge mode. The challenges here aim to not just be a fun twist on the gameplay, but to challenge you to become better at the game. Completing them unlocks other game settings that can be accessed when playing all the other game modes, adding things like controlled goalie, 8v8, and more. It's a fun way of keeping the game fresh as you play. So whereas Super Blood Hockey is all about honing the tried and true traditions of classic hockey games, Behold the Kickmen is more about flipping the traditional rules of football on their head and then spinning them around until they fall flat on their face. Behold the Kickmen basically starts off as a series of jokes that are then turned into rules. During the tutorial, silly little text boxes pop up saying things like umpires run out and give the scoring player a kiss, or the farther away you make a goal, the more points you get. These end up being actual rules. Apart from the general silliness of all this, it actually makes it into a very unique game. I guarantee you have never played a game quite like Behold the Kickmen. It attempts to apply the same absurdity to its gameplay mechanics. Kickmen have boost, can perform or dodge tackles, take huge shots from across the field. During campaign mode, these moves have to be unlocked. This I did not much care for. We're taught how to use all of these skills in the tutorial, and then they're taken away when the game starts. You have to win a match to unlock them one by one, so it only takes about 4 wins to get back to where you were, but it's a frustrating couple of games as you feel handicapped in the gameplay. Part of this that really didn't make sense to me though was that Behold the Kickmen already has an RPG team building element, where you can spend money earned during games on improving your team's stats. There is already an incentive to play well and things to unlock. And on top of that, it takes quite a bit of money to catch up with the other teams you're pitted against in the league mode. So while I enjoyed the overall gameplay, the first hour of Behold the Kickmen can be a somewhat frustrating experience as you curse the game for not allowing you to use all of the moves. Behold the Kickmen features a full campaign mode with a story, compared to Super Blood Hockey's quick drop in and out tournament style of game. Both games have quick play modes, but Super Blood Hockey is the only one to offer challenges and multiplayer. That's right, Behold the Kickmen is a single player only game, and the developer has made it very clear he has no interest in adapting it to multiplayer. He set out to make a single player game, and that's what he did. That makes this a close one. Super Blood Hockey is a very well polished game that offers a lot of potential fun for you and friends. But I have to give the overall edge to Behold the Kickmen. So in conclusion, both of these were fun games. I enjoyed my time spent with both of them. But Behold the Kickmen was the one that made me want to come back for more. If you're not a fan of the old school hockey games, I'm not sure that Super Blood Hockey really offers much to bring you into the genre. Whereas, despite Dan Marshall's fear that Behold the Kickmen would alienate the football fans and have no audience, I think it actually has a lot to offer for anybody. If you're a big fan of football and you can laugh at yourself, there's a lot of humor to be found in this game. And even if you're not a fan of football and you just know the tiniest bit about it, you'll still be able to get a lot of the humor. On top of that, the game just introduces a lot of fun and unique mechanics that are completely irrelevant to soccer. And irreverent to soccer too. Football. Dang it. Plus, at $3.99 being half the price of Super Blood Hockey, it's hard not to choose Behold the Kickmen here. But hey, that's just my opinion. If you feel like it, you could go ahead and give both games a try, and then let me know what you thought about them down below in the comment section. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a like and maybe even comment, and if you're new here, consider subscribing for more. I do this and that and video game reviews and movie reviews, whatever I want to do, that's what I do, because it's my channel, and I will cry if I want to. Bye-bye.